case.
Okay, so I'm saying like this. So he says like this, that when you learn Gemara, you become a Omo, but a Omo, you get a connection to a Melus Bator. When you learn Mishnah, you become a Tzana Molisaf. Now, you're going to start asking. And this he says, the Chachmei Adorus Paskin, that we should learn Gemara Begil or Rach in a young age. It's definitely before 15.
With the Chachmei.
Who are they? He doesn't say who, because we don't really know who they are. Because this has been going on 100 years, this system of Archador, maybe more even. And we don't really know where, we don't really know who they are, but we know that the way Chadorim are set up is something that comes from Chachmei Adoros. Now, and he explains it a little bit, because we want to make, at a young age, we want to start teaching what Alma Torah is. Now, so you're going to ask, but the Mishnah says not like that.
No,
The Mishnah says, Ben Chamesh Gemara.
That's a Mishnah.
There's two answers. There's two answers. One answer is, like I said, that they're not talking about what to learn, they're talking about how a person develops. That a person develops a seichel of Gemara, of kashas and terutzim, of really understanding kashas and terutzim at the age of 15. And until the age of 15, he sang over kashas and terutzim, but not really appreciating that a kasha means that it's schwer, it's a problem, it's something that bothers. And a teretz means bringing light into the inyan. He doesn't really feel that feeling until he's 15 years old. But he learns of that there is such a thing. He'll never say, Bo Narut, like this boy said, that I was learning Mishnayos Oholos with a boy from Zilberman, that the father paid me to learn with him in order to finish Shisha Sudre Mishnah by the Bar Mitzvah, which I'm very much against. And he's not the only one that did it. There was another one that asked me to do it. Shlomo Wiesenfeld also asked me to learn with his son to make for Seder Taras and make a siyum of Shisha Sudre Mishnah at the Bar Mitzvah. I don't hold of all these things just because you could say, I finished Shisha Sudre Mishnah by the Bar Mitzvah. That doesn't do anything to the person. The whole yesod, the whole mistake of all this is, we just don't just have to think about how much to know, which amount, what kind of amount does the person know. We have to also think about how you build up a person. How you build a person, that's the question. And I'm saying, so the Chachmei Adoros understood that you can't let a child get used to this, that we are just learning how to say a lot, to remember a lot of words, and not know that there's such a thing as a question, an answer. We can't because we're so weak that we can't wait. We can't afford to wait until the age of 15 or more to start learning this whole concept of questions and answers. And I think, that's the, how should I call it? It's not, I don't want, that's my challenge, how I'm challenging the shita that's called zilberman. Now I have another question. What does one thing have to do with the other? Why did they make, in this system that I don't know too much about, I heard about them and I know a little bit about from this article. My question is, just because they wanted to make a sheet of knowing a lot, what does that have to do with everything else they do? Why do they do all kinds of other things? Besides learning a lot, being goris a lot, and chazering a lot, they do all kinds of other things. They wear a certain tcheles, which we
we talked about a few months ago.
They do, I heard that they say, the shachZц says, Virchos Kriyashma, and everybody listens, they're yotze from the shachZcz.
That's the way they did it in the time of the Gemara.
Oh, they did it in the time of the Gemara. Now, okay, they did it, so they say, And if you look in the Biagra, you do see that the Biagra says that that's the Iker Takana of Chazal was that way. And they also, well, I'll soon get back to it. And they celebrate, to a certain extent, they celebrate Yom Ha'atzmaut. I saw.
Yes.
Here he says this, whoever this rabbi is, this anonymous rabbi in this article. By the way, it's Chof Teves Tovshin Ayin Vov, January the 1st, 2016.
If anybody wants it, they can write a comment and I'll send it to them.
In this article.
This article.
It says here,
or you can find it on the internet. Look up Zilberman and Makor Rishon, and you'll come to it in Hebrew, of course.
The Makor Rishon magazine, newspaper, the magazine of the newspaper of that date, January the 1st, 2016.
Now type in Zilberman in Google, you'll find it right away.
Okay, so here he says like this: Ha'aba ha'yadorish b'yom ha'atzmaut kama zayom gadol. My father, this is Eliyahu Zilberman, is saying over his father, that his father was Doresh on Yom Ha'atzmaut, how great this day is. What does that have to do with having a derech halimud? The answer is...
this could be answering what makes it a cult.
That's all. So I see like this, to me, it seems that when he made a derech halimud,
and by the way, it says there his daughters in their seminar, they went to real seminars, they made a Yom Ha'atzmaut, they started Chogeg there.
It says it over here, Banot Shelo, היו מדברות על כך בסמינרים שבהם למדו ועושות בלגן. Now, okay, so it says here that the son Eliyahu, he tried to tone that down. They stay away from, they don't want to be Tzionim. And they
don't want the name Tzionim. They certainly want to be
Tzionim. They don't want
Tzionim.
to have the name Tzionim. Okay, well, it's also means something.
Yeah.
They do understand that Tzionim and secularism is one thing. So they don't want to be identified with Tzionim. Okay, but they do celebrate Yom Ha'atzmaut. Now, for that you need a separate talk. I'm not the type to jump from one thing to the other thing. I'm talking now, I'm focused. I'm trying to be a focused person. I'm focusing on one aspect of this whole Zilberman thing, which is this derech halimud. But my question is, you have a derech halimud, but why does this kehila have so many other things about them different than the rest of Klal Yisrael? And L'chura, it seems to me, from what I remember 53 years ago, that Rav Zilberman used to come to Kamenetz and look at the class where I was together with his son Avram in the same class. And he used to come around and see if everything is, if they're doing enough chazar, if they're learning enough mishnayos, and he was trying to make things work his way. I remember him from before Matan Torah, before there was a whole Shita Zilber and everything. I was with his son in Cheder. I remember his older son Yom Tov, he was in the higher class above me. And, and he used to come and look. My question is, because he wants to learn in a certain way, why all these other things are around it? Why the tchelas? Why the Shliach Tzibur being motzi everybody? Why the Yom Ha'atzmaut? Why Bechlal? Why talk about Gula? Why talk about the
Kima is also a discussion.
A Torah-dik view. And why Bechlal?
By the way, Kima is against 100 Maimrei Chazal and Pesukim. That is not Kima. Kima is on the Gula of Purim.
Right. No, but the Gemara says, the Yerushalmi says, Kach hi gulas in Yisrael. It says Kima, and the Gula of Purim was Kima. But also it says Kach, that's how the Gula goes. Could be the Lashon is mashma, it's talking Klal, Bechlal, and Gula. Okay.
But it's still 100 Makorot.
I can't
and definitely, according to Breslov, the Tekef Yavo, Pitom Yavo, Adon She'atem Machakim. Yes, because a pasuk.
Everything is true. But I can't get into that now.
Okay.
Because I can't jump from one subject to the other. There are geniuses that can, but I can't. I have to just. But hear my question. My question is, why did this happen? The answer that gives me a chash that the whole thing is a certain bechina of a cult. So I looked up in the dictionary here, in the the concise Oxford Dictionary, and it says here like this: cult, system of religious worship, devotion, homage to person or thing. Okay, and I don't know. The thing is that when you use a certain word, it rings a certain bell in everybody's mind. A different it rings it differently in everybody's mind. They think something else. Usually, the word cult sounds a very negative thing. When people say cult, they mean a devotion to a certain person, but just totally without like erasing everything else that's around it. And living a certain life, and usually a cult means to stop thinking. If you want to say a more simple definition for a cult, it means a group that stops thinking, that devotes themselves to something and stops thinking. To me, but I'm not going to accuse them of calling them a cult like the world uses the word cult, but I must say that I knew somebody that was a shtickle about Seichel. He was. His name was Menachem Katzburg, and he learned there a few years. He lived in the old city, and he learned there. His father sent him there, and he calls them a cult. And I sort of rely on him. The pshat is like this. There's a
the same Katzburg family that was close to Rav Shach.
Katzburg.
The one that had a bakery on next to Kamenetz.
No. Oh, maybe it is related. They are from the same country, I think, from Hungary, the part of Hungary that's called Oberland. Don't know.
Okay, good. Let's not drift. Golish.
But that's what he said. He told me it's a cult, and he was there. Now, it seems to me that you're going to make a sheet how to learn, and you're going to do all kinds of other things different than the whole Klal Yisrael. That has a reach of a cult to it. Now, and I do think that in yonim of how to daven and how to do mitzvahs, you should do like Klal Yisrael does. How to learn, you don't have to do exactly like all the chadorm. I'm not saying that. I really am a strong believer in shach'zц zichru, which is called, there's a new
They talk about it in the article here.
Of Chadorm, it's called Zichru Torahs Moshe, they call themselves. So my grandson learns there. And they do things just like they do like everybody else, except what they do is they do a more chazor. That's their chidush, is to do a lot of
and they have another thing you forgot to mention. They have a thing they learn 365 days a year. They have no vacations.
Also that, yeah. So also.
Lo chavu Yerushalayim, ele shel bitlu shel Torah. No, we take it seriously.
Might be right.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a sheet of learning every day of the year. Now, the klal is, the machlokes is, do we do everything exactly like it says, or do we think? That's the machlokes. And I even heard a shusadi nuke, the talk of a child, the same child that said Bo Naruz. So he once said to me, the Rosh Yeshiva say shiurim, they're selling lakshan. It's a little bit of busha for me to use that expression, but like they're selling just empty Torah. How do you know where? Because he was that shusadi nuke, the talk of a child is either from his father or from his mother, and you could add nowadays from his rabbi or from his sister. That means what he's saying is...
Rabbi Kaplan will take a